So guys, let's just continue with the Abraham Traore speech. I show you guys the first half where he's talking about injustice and the revamping the justice system. Now, the second part is even more serious. And listen keenly to what he said. And you can it's easy to comprehend because he did not make it difficult. He make it simplify it, very simple. And he's trust me, you're gonna love this video, and you're gonna even love Abraham Traore more after listening to what he's saying in this video. Take a listen. Again, I will not comment on it because it's simplified and you can understand it fully. It's so just hit me up in the comment section after the video and let me know what you think about it. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. You don't know. Boom, let's go. Among the imperialists, they have a vision of the world that I am going to explain to you. The world boils down to a triangle. For them, you will see the triangle in most of their badges. Maybe they don't understand, but the world boils down to a triangle. For them, at the top of the triangle is the empire of good, and the empire of good, it is them. It is prosperity. It is everything that is positive. It is they who have the right to all that is happiness in this world. It is they who have the right to all the riches. It is to them to impose their way of seeing the world. It is up to them to impose their visions, their way of life. And that is why during colonization or their conquest, I would say, they came to our lands and they said that they discover our lands because for that we are savages. We are nothing like them. In fact, so they call us natives, and they are the good ones. They are, they aggregate all the rights to themselves, and for them the world must work as they say. It is simple. I will take a few examples. Look through their films. They have prepared the minds of their people to make them understand that they are the best in it. It is they who must have everything. You will not say the opposite. In all their films, that is, it spreads, you will always find the bad guys. It is either the Russians or the South Americans or the blacks who play the bad role of drug traffickers, close to human trafficking. Until the recent past, of course, you will find the Arabs who play the role of terrorists. This is a bit of how they perceive the world. When I take on the economic aspect, who among us has not treated Chinese products as Chinese products, or we like to call them bad products? But today, I could tell you that we are completely wrong because China has fairly advanced level of technology, and it is in China that most of these countries come to get their supplies, put their mark on it, and resell it to us as theirs. Look around you. Our entrepreneurs who are in the construction industry are not, to the contrary, all their machines today are Chinese. Those who do transport will not say otherwise. They lie to us because we have traveled around the world a little in these 20 months to look for companies, to look for factories, and we understand that everything comes back there. Through the communication, they lead us to hate all Chinese products, to want to make us understand that it is good come from them, not necessarily. It is simple. Go back in time. To better understand what I will say, you have to go back in time a little. And I hope that some will read who the Tars are, the Mongols, the Conquest, the Persian, Turkish, and Ottoman empires. Read their history. We'll understand why the world is like this. At the base of the triangle, there are two empires. On one side, the evil empire according to them, and the empire of slaves on the other. This is how he sees the world, which is what they call the empire of evil, which I have just cited immediately. origin, and I told you to go back in time to read it, you will understand why they are the empire of evil in their eyes. They have fight the empire of evil. For them, the evil empire must disappear. For them, the evil empire embodies the devil. They communicate and they make it understood to their people. So that this is why, after the Second World War in the 80s, I will take the case of Russia, where all the changes were implemented to collapse. It was President Gorbachev in the United States. It was President Ronald Reagan who was in charge. Three main strategies caught our attention. They therefore went on to the level of Saudi Arabia, asked them to lower the oil price from $35 to $7 to collapse the Russian economy. At the same time, the second stratagem, don't forget something. These same people who have just left Afghanistan, supposedly fighting the Taliban have we received by President Ronald Reagan at the White House. They were armed by the CIA. The famous Stinger Soul missiles were delivered to the Taliban to fight the Russians, and later they come to suppose to fight them. Go ahead and understand. The very stringent. It was a bluff. The IDS Star Wars project. Read, you will understand why they got President Gorbachev to create the Palos project, which broke Russia. Once Russia collapsed, those who claimed to be from the Empire of Good started to gloat until this team comes with Vladimir Putin to try to bring Russia back to the surface. The evil empire, according to them, has suffered a lot. Look at Iran. Today, all the possible sanctions, look at how it qualifies certain people, starts communication. They can manage to make you hate a people or love a people. They are very strong in communication. And they go through all that. Possible channels, look at the war who serve. They invented everything for their own interests. And finally, the empire of slaves. According to them, this is Africa and certain people of South America. In their heads, as I said recently, African belongs to them. Our lands belong to them. The riches of Africa are for them. And they cannot conceive that Africans can emancipate themselves, get their heads above water, and therefore want to stand up to them. And for this, they have put a clinch in their heads. The African is easy to manipulate. He is only emotion. They will always find an African to fight against their brother. And it has always been like this. Though, through communication, they made you hate your own skin color. In our cultures, and in many cultures in Burkina Faso, here, mourning was symbolized by the color blue. When a woman loses her husband, she therefore wore blue to mourn for a given time. They are the ones who came to tell us that black symbolizes mourning, the devil, mediocrity, everything that is bad. And unfortunately, we have swallowed this so much that when we are in mourning, we also put ourselves in black. We have to wake up. We have to wake up because this is the cling that they have in mind. They are the empire of many others, are evil empire, and we are the empire of slaves. This is how the imperialists see the world. You must understand that. And here I am going to rant at the palace and at the place. So certain intellectuals who continue to want to preach for the imperialists, are they ignoring this part of history? I am not inventing anything. It has been declassified. You will find everything I said in libraries are everywhere on the engines of search. These intellectuals, they have not read this. Do they not know the history of this world? It is perhaps by dishonesty or whatever bill of dollars which leads them to always preach for the imperialists. It is necessary that our intellectuals arrive at any time to preach, raise awareness among our people, our popular masses, and they understand where they come from and how they are seen by the world. Imperialists, let's take the history of a few wars you followed. The Iraq War, a big lie which was invented supposedly of possession of weapons of mass destruction. Senators at the level of the United States did everything to have the proof they did not have. They did not have it. Remember that several people resigned from the CIA after this war. Evidence was invented on all sides. Western Secret Service helped them to fabricate evidence, and we reminded and remember that the same Niger was accused in this time by setting up a forgery, a false arrangement, a false contract for the sale of uranium to Iraq. It is the same process they want to bring last time for supposedly that Nigeria sells uranium consolidately to Iran. It is said already, since they protect this, did not have the proof the United Nations finally found there was no tangible proof of the presence of weapons and mass production, but they had their objective. It was necessary to destroy Iraq, and they destroyed Iraq. They created the Islamic State, just like they created the Taliban in the 80s. The armies equip them, and then they pretend to come and fight them. Understand the game. It has lasted too long. We need to wake up and understand all this, and we become aware of our situation and fight for our people. Wars were invented through Iraq, Syria, Libya, with the aim of destabilizing the world for their benefit because no one must not be able to match them. This is what we are experiencing today in Sahel. Also, through the terrorists that they have imposed on us because they will always find black people who will get excited and who will take up arms against their brothers, blacks. This is what we live. They have never left this model. Unfortunately, many people agree with them because of a few dollar bills. They sell themselves much cheaper to the imperialists and they start to fight their brothers. I wanted to do this little history of the world so that you can understand how imperialism see us, our world. It comes down to this little speech.